No
Sure.
shortcuts there.
Sure.
Enjoy books, and I'm telling you, it's probably a million times better than spending time on your phone. Writing is a tough process, and we make it so simple. And you take somebody else's stuff, it's not yours, and you're not doing yourself any good.
It's basically a question of models at that point.
Yeah, you need to develop yourself. You need to have your own voice, not somebody else's voice as yours. Yeah, we have our own Sahyadris out here, which are so beautiful. Most of the kids, and in the school, haven't been there. They're just around the corner from here. So I'm trying to, through my travels across India, I want to write stories in wild places of India.
Hello, I'm Viona.
And I'm Ahana.
Today we have someone very special who is not only an author but an inspiration for all the young budding environmental warriors out there. Someone who started as a chemical engineer but soon followed his heart, which was in writing, and has woven many wonderful stories that take us into the wild.
The legendary author, Mr. Deepak Dalal. We are so excited to have you here, sir. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. I'm so happy to be with you.
Starting with the first question. As we know, you shifted your career from a chemical engineer to an author in 1998. Ever since then, your books have had a certain passion for animals and nature. Was there a specific moment in your childhood that inspired this passion?
I don't think any specific moment. I just love wildlife. I just love being out in the outdoors. Outdoors are so important to me. I just felt so happy out there. And when I saw a mountain, I'd love to climb it. So it's more about the outdoors to start with. And then as I spent time in the outdoors, I observed wildlife and nature. And so that's how the whole thing came together. But all started with the outdoors. It was this great urge of the big wild outdoors. And all that it has, all came because of this.
Wow. My second question is, your writing pieces have inspired so many people to take charge for the environment.
I hope so.
And conserving it. Your language used is almost impeccable, describing the surroundings and creating a visual imagery. Is there a specific person that inspired you to take up writing?
It wasn't a person, it was books. I was a total bookworm as a kid. I loved books so much that I was, when mom put off the lights, I would crawl under the bed and take a torch and read. I was that kind of sort. I just loved reading. And so that eventually got me down to all this. It was my love for reading, which eventually led to the inspiration came from each and every book that I read. I love those books so much that I wish I could have written those books. And that's what got me going. Yeah. So the inspiration was not a person, it was the books.
If you would have never switched careers, do you think your love for wildlife and conservation would have made a way in your life?
Eventually, yes. Because I've been drawn to it all along in the sense that I've been seeing, you read about it all the time, what's happening in our world, the extinction of species, the destruction of habitat, and it's just in humans doing what they want. And you see species going from normal to endangered to extinct. And you wonder, you really feel it hurts you as you go along. And it's something which the planet doesn't belong exclusively to us. It belongs to every living creature. And we need to protect them. But to protect them, you need to know about them. You got to understand their beauty, you need a reason to protect them. And that's what I try and do through my books, to create a bond between children and wildlife and wilderness areas. And through this, hopefully, that they would work towards saving wildlife.
So in your Vikram-Aditya series, you've chosen very diverse locations like Ranthambore, Ladakh, the Andaman.
That's my desire to travel.
What makes a place adventure worthy in your eyes?
It's got to be a wild place. It shouldn't be Mumbai or Pune or, it's got to be. So we got Thar Desert in Rajasthan. We got the forests of Rajasthan, which includes Ranthambore. We have 8,000 kilometers of coastline, which are wild and beautiful. We have the entire Himalayan region on top. We got these great rivers like the Brahmaputra and the Ganges, and so many wild areas. And we travel. We'll go to the Alps in Switzerland and feel very proud. But you got the same mountains. You got much better mountains in India. Yeah, we have our own Sahyadris out here, which are so beautiful. Most of the kids and in the school haven't been there, and they're just round the corner from here. So I'm trying to, through my travels across India, I want to write stories in wild places of India. That's how these titles came out: Andamans, Lakshadweep, Ladakh. And I love these wilderness areas, and I'm trying to make children love these areas also, to draw them towards the wilderness that I find so beautiful. So that was the whole reason why all these locations were chosen. And I keep choosing these locations. The next one is going to be possibly on the coastline of India. It's about dolphins. So let's see.
Okay, so going back to your writing style. In the book Feather Tales, you try to incorporate the perspective of birds and other wildlife. Do you have a certain criteria to determine what things to put it in a bird's perspective, or do you leave some things up to imagination for the targeted audience?
Well, the idea is bird's perspective, because birds live such a wonderful life. I mean, imagine you had wings here. You don't have to wait for your bus to come here in the morning. You go wherever you want. You don't need a passport. You can travel where you want. It's a great life. It's a great perspective to look into, a creature's life. And I think they live fascinatingly. Just think about their navigation, their migration, right from the North Pole to the South Pole, across the world in various directions. I think it's a great adventurous life. And it also gives you, they can fly to any part of the world, and you can set your stories to any part of the world, from the Arctic to the Antarctic. The whole world is your canvas, having birds as the main and protagonists of your books.
Do you think that the incorporation of animal perspectives helps younger audiences understand more complex themes related to the environment?
Yeah, if you to give it from the animal's perspective, you are actually telling it how it is, as opposing to your point of view. And I think that really encompasses exactly what you need to give to kids, and it'll definitely be far more effective. So using an animal's perspective is used by a lot of writers. And it really works best if you want to really connect them with the wild animal which you're talking about, or the wilderness areas you're talking about, the forest, the mountains.
You mentioned that your love for wildlife also developed through books. So in these books, did they have perspectives of animals?
Yes, they did. I remember reading. I used to pick up. I remember in those days, Reader's Digest. It's still there actually, but you kids don't know much about it. But they used to have always something about the perspective of a whale, of a dolphin, and I just read them over and over and over and again. I loved it from that point of view.
So many of your books highlight environmental issues without sounding like a lecture.
That's important to do
So
that.
how do you make the message blend with the adventure naturally?
So the message has to come out of the story.
Oh.
It's not something you implanted there. It's something which flows naturally with the story. You got to bury it so deep that the reader doesn't understand that the message is being passed. If the message is directly just emblazoned out there or spoken up or announced, it doesn't work, because nobody wants a lecture. Nobody wants to learn it. In fact, stories are great. They're great in the sense that you can bury the message so deep inside, and the reader is reading it for the story and absorbs it naturally without being shoved in. And that way it lasts longer, it goes deeper, and if effectively converts that child or the reader to that cause which you're trying to bring out.
Wow. And if any one of your books had to be turned into a movie, which one would it be and why?
Well, it's hard to say which one, but I love the Sahyadris out here. And they are just incredibly beautiful, particularly in the rains. And that's Yeah, if something had to be visually done, I would think they're really beautiful. I mean, everybody's done the Himalayas. Everybody's, what do you call, been to tigers and stuff like that. But this is unique, in the sense that not many people have pictured this. And it is such an incredible setting. And it's so sad that very few people know about the setting of the Sahyadris. Shivaji knew all about them.
You mentioned when you were answering one of the other questions that one of your new books would be based off a coastline. Would this plot involve older characters like Vikram or Aditya, or would it have new characters, if you don't mind me asking?
So, in fact, that's a very pertinent question because I intend this book to possibly be the last in the series. And so Vikram has grown up. He's finished with school. He's in college. So is his friend Aditya. And Vikram takes a job in a school, in something called Teach for India, where you are recruited to teach in underprivileged schools, in the sense of giving back to society. And the story is more about the kids whom Vikram is teaching.
Oh.
So it's not about Vikram and Aditya being the kids. Now they're grown up.
So sort of like a new generation.
Yeah, it's the next guy. But these are underprivileged kids.
Oh.
As opposed to kids who come to schools like this.
Yeah.
So that it's actually more to do with that. So
a follow-up question, not for this exactly, like a new question. You know how kids of our generation, my generation, we rely a lot on technology. And due to innovations such as artificial intelligence, we have started drifting away from books. Do you think your stories make a huge impact in helping them find the joy of reading again?
I hope so, because actually it's very scary what's happening now, with AI coming in at such a level that is going to rewrite the way we live, and so I don't know where books will fit in with that. And, people creating their own alternative universes and doing what they want. And the world opens up in a different way. So earlier books were the big thing in life. Books might become the small thing in life. So I don't know. One doesn't know what's going to go. But essentially the creation of a story and the telling of a story will remain the same. How it is fed, how it is done, and there'll be many innovations around that. I don't know which way the innovations are going, but the book, I think, will evolve into something different from what we believe, what we read as a book. Now, you could have different endings, you could have different characters coming in, you could bring in, fudge in somebody else, and the story adjusts accordingly. I mean, there can be so much that can be done with AI. But essentially, the storyline has to be great.
Would you ever consider using artificial intelligence in your book?
No. I might use AI to help me find a word. But I wouldn't ask AI to describe a scene for me. Okay. But yeah, I mean, like I use a thesaurus. I use a thesaurus extensively when I'm writing, trying to find different words to explain the same thing. So to that extent, I might use AI just in that continuation, but not. It would be cheating if you ask AI to come up with something which you're supposed to come up with, and it might be 10 times better than yours, but that's not yours. So,
would you use it for illustrations for younger audiences?
I don't know how this whole thing with illustration is going to work out. I think artists are even more impacted than writers.
Yeah.
So because you can churn out any kind of scene. So maybe there'll be a happy marriage between with what AI offers you and what you have. There could be a happy marriage and get much better stuff. It's hard to predict with the way things are going, but things are definitely going to change. That's all I can say. And you have to not let it interfere with your creativity. Grabbing creativity of AI and putting it into your books, I think is a bit unfair. It's a bit wrong.
Do you have any advice for younger writers or people who are just starting to learn how to write books to stay away from artificial intelligence?
Absolutely, completely, totally. Because that robs the creativity. Because writing is a tough process, and we make it so simple, and you take somebody else's stuff. It's not yours, and you're not doing yourself any good.
It's basically a question of morals at that point.
Yeah, you need to develop yourself, you need to have your own voice, not somebody else's voice as yours. That goes against the ethics of writing, So just stay away from AI.
So, what's the most unexpected thing you've discovered while researching for your books?
Unexpected. That's a tough one. I'm not sure if I can answer straight away. I don't know, because one doesn't look for unexpected. So I don't directly, I'll have to think this one out. I don't think I have an answer right away. But quite often it's it's the beauty of a place is far more than you imagined it to be.
Okay.
And I really astounded the extent of beauty that you have in Ladakh in particular. It's just stunningly beautiful. And that, if you could ask me, that is the one thing which I thought was much more than.
Okay.
That's the one way I could put it.
And what brings you most joy in the writing process? And how do you overcome a creativity block or self-doubt?
Creativity block, very tough, very, very tough. There's only one way. Keep at it. Don't give up. It does come and it strikes for long periods of time. The thing is, when you chip away, somewhere you get through, somewhere you get a breakthrough and it comes. But if you give up, then you've lost the battle. Yes. You got to keep working at it. What was the other question you said? Yes.
And how do you overcome self-doubt?
Self-doubt. It's only by creating something which you genuinely like. See, you can't take shortcuts in writing. The self-doubt comes when it doesn't feel as good as it should have felt. So you put in that extra effort and it suddenly feels as good as you want. That self-doubt is eliminated. So put in that extra effort. Don't let a 90% job think that, this is 100%. That last 10% is so difficult to get it right and takes probably as much trouble as writing the entire book. But that effort is required. And that eliminates the self-doubt.
Okay, so finally, I have one last question. This is sort of personal to your books. If you had to choose one personal favorite character in your books, in any of the series, in any of the...
Character. Well, it's Vikram, for sure. The reason I like him is because he is everything I wanted to be, but I'm not.
Oh.
And in the sense that he's cool, he's calm, he solves problems, he thinks. He also has the same kind of frailties which I have. Like I get very scared on mountains with steep kind of cliffs. He also suffers from the same problem. So some of the problems he has, I kind of given him mine, and but also given him my love for nature, wildlife.
So he's sort of like a reflection of you.
Yeah, but a much better version of me, stronger,
Are any of your other characters reflections of people you know?
Not really. The characters just come, they announce themselves. As the book, you write it, the character develops. And I think Vikram is the only one which is on me. The others are they just developed on their own. But yeah, Vikram is the chap which I wanted to be.
That's all for me. So thank you so much for your precious time,
Thank you.
sir.
That's very sweet of you.
You've given us a whole new perspective, not just us, but our audience as well.
Keep reading. No
Sure.
shortcuts there.
Sure.
Enjoy books, and I'm telling you, it's probably a million times better than spending time on your phone.
So that's your
and
message.
flicking through.
That's your message.
Keep
to us.
reading. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is Fiona
And this is Ahana
signing off. Thank you for watching CNS Dialogue Den,
where your voice matters. I just have to remember Ahana signing off. Voice matters.
Yes.
What's my name? Ahana. This is Ahana
Signing off. Thank you for watching CNS Dialogue Den, where your voice matters.